Throughout history and across continents, people have whispered of unsettling nocturnal encounter shapes in the dark, paralyzing dread, and the sensation of being watched when no one else is around. Among the countless stories, few are as chilling or as widespread as those involving the so-called shadow people, mysterious black figures that slink at the edge of our vision or linger just out of reach. While skeptics attribute these experiences to tricks of the mind, sleep paralysis, stress, or hallucinations, others are left shaken by the eerie consistency of the details. Tall, featureless silhouettes, sometimes crowned by a wide-brimmed hat. This story dives into one such true account, echoing testimonies found in online forums, late-night conversations, and whispered confessions worldwide. It explores the terrifying possibility that these encounters aren't just nightmares or shared hallucinations, but something far stranger, an inexplicable phenomenon that binds people through fear, leaving them with more questions than answers, and a lasting sense that some shadows are watching. I used to wonder if I was losing my mind, waking up in the middle of the night, gasping for breath, pinned by terror I couldn't explain. It wasn't until I heard my younger brother whisper about the man in the hat that I realized I wasn't the only one seeing things that shouldn't exist. It started quietly, with shadows that never seemed to belong. I'd be sitting alone in the living room after everyone else had gone to bed, TV flickering. House silent except for the low hum of electronics when I'd notice a shape at the edge of my vision. At first, I'd chalk it up to exhaustion, or maybe a trick of the light. But these shadows didn't move like ordinary darkness. They watched. One night, the air grew so heavy I could hardly breathe. I glanced toward the doorway and glimpsed a silhouette so pitch black it seemed to eat the light around it. A human shape, but thin, impossibly still, and topped with what looked like a wide-brimmed hat. My heart hammered, my skin turned clammy, and I couldn't tear my eyes away. When I blinked, it was gone. 4 nights after, sleep was laced with unease. I'd lie in bed, covers pulled to my chin, the sense that something stood beyond my closed door. Then came the morning when my little brother, pale and hollow-eyed, came up to me and asked, "Did you see the man by the stairs?" He described him, the tall shadow, the hat. He said it watched him all night, unmoving, as if waiting for something. His voice shook as he spoke, and suddenly, my own memories felt heavier, like an accusation. What made it worse was that we never told anyone outside the house. But one afternoon at school, a friend mentioned he was scared of sleeping, facing his closet. He half-joked about a shadow guy with a hat who looks inside at night. The blood drained from my face. The details matched. When I pressed him, he just shrugged. I thought it was a dream, but sometimes I'm sure I'm awake. The sightings became more frequent. Sometimes it was just a fleeting impression, a cold breath at the nape of my neck, a figure standing outside my window at dawn, just beyond clear eyesight. One time I caught a reflection in my laptop screen, the shape of a hat behind me in the hallway. I spun, heart in my throat, but the corridor was empty. The icy dread never fully left once it settled in. Desperation led me down internet rabbit holes, forums full of people, all over the world. Documented encounters that mirrored ours in excruciating detail, the oppressive darkness, the static silence, the shadow figure with the hat. Some called him the Hat Man. Some swore it was a collective myth, sleep paralysis, our brains playing tricks in the dark. But the stories lined up. The unblinking gaze, the sense of unspeakable malice, the silence that seemed to stretch out time. After a month, I tried to confront it. I waited up a single lamp on, back pressed to the wall. At 3:17 a.m., the temperature dropped. My skin prickled. The lamp flickered, and there he was, across the room. Tall, blacker than black, hat brim casting an impossible shadow. I tried to yell, but my voice caught in my throat. He glided forward soundlessly, and with each step, the room seemed to shrink. My limbs grew leaden, as if dragged down by cold water. Then, just as he reached my bed, he stopped. I felt his gaze not on my face, but inside my mind, probing and ancient and utterly inhuman. I closed my eyes, and when I finally dared to open them, the room was empty. My body was drenched in sweat, jaw aching from clenching my teeth. It felt like the world had shifted. I wished that was the end, but it wasn't. The feeling of being watched never left, no matter the time of day. Light bulbs in our house started burning out weeks before their time. My brother grew quieter. Most nights we texted each other from our rooms, neither wanting to admit we were afraid to sleep. There was never any violence, never anything you could point to and call proof. But sometimes, when I'm alone and the house is submerged in that thick pre-dawn hush, I swear I see him standing just outside my doorway, impossibly still waiting, with ancient patience, his brim casting a shadow far darker than any night. And now I know, from all those whispered stories around the world, that some shadows don't go away when the sun comes up. They're always there, just waiting for you to notice. Thank you for watching. Do like, share, and subscribe to this channel for more mysterious occurrences from across the world.